laugh with pain, your spirit soars and sings. Though sorrow clouds your day, it's sunny skies tomorrow brings. And oh, take my hand, let's be friends forever. And oh, take my hand, alone no more, not ever. Imagine dreams are real, and soon you'll start to feel there's magic all around. And oh, take my hand, love is all around.
Please let Diana become my very best friend. I'm sure that I'll get on well with her. And I'm quite sure Diana Barry will also become fond of me when we meet. I can even see her house from here. Maybe we could send each other signals with a lighted candle.
Ever since Marilla had told Anne that Diana Barry was coming home the next day, the red-haired orphan had been unable to think of anything else but the girl who lived on the next farm. Anne wanted to have a close friend of her own age and was hoping that Diana would become the best friend she was longing to meet. Anne had never seen the Barry girl, but she was convinced that all she'd heard about Diana was true, that she was a very special girl who was also extremely pretty.
Is this rain ever going to stop? Will it stop today, maybe?
There's no point in letting the rain upset you, Anne. Don't worry, it should be over by this afternoon.
You sure of that?
And you can always depend on Matthew's weather forecasts.
Thank heavens. That means we could visit Diana this afternoon.
Yes, but we won't go there before 5 o'clock. 5:30 is the best time for paying visits.
Goody.
Anne, are you ready to go?
Yes!
Why did you have to change your dress, Anne? That was completely unnecessary.
I don't think so.
Come on, the sooner we get this meeting over with, the better. What's the matter?
Oh, Marilla, I'm getting so scared. I was looking forward to this, but now I'm feeling nervous. Oh, what shall I do if Diana will have nothing to do with me because of the way I look? That would be far too tragic for my poor little soul to bear. It would be the end of me.
Now, Anne, stop your nonsense, please. And don't talk in such a highfalutin way to the Barrys. You must make a good impression on Mrs. Barry, Anne. And of course Diana Barry will like you. Why shouldn't she, for goodness sake? It's Diana's mother you should be trying to win over. If she decides you're the ideal playmate for her daughter, then that's all that matters. It makes no difference what Diana thinks. Now, I want you to behave normally. Be polite and well-mannered, and please, please promise me that you won't launch into one of your long, drawn-out speeches. Matthew and I are used to your sermons, but the Barrys are not. Anne, you're shaking like a little leaf.
Oh, Marilla, you would tremble too. Tremble like a leaf if you were about to meet a little girl who might become your best friend in the world. And whose mother might not be able to stand the sight of you because you've got carroty red hair.
This path is the shortest route to the Barrys' house, so you better remember it.
I'll never forget it.
Oh, Marilla, what a pleasant surprise. Do come in, please. I presume that this little girl is the one that you and Matthew have taken in? Come, child, don't be shy. Come over here. I won't bite you.
Her name is Anne Shirley.
But it's not an ordinary Anne. You see, the Anne must be spelt with an E at the end.
And how are you, Anne?
Well, my physical condition is really quite excellent, thank you. But to tell you the truth, my soul feels a lot like a compost heap.
Really? Come inside anyway.
Did I make a good impression? Well, did I, Marilla?
Shh, don't talk loudly. They're not deaf, you know, my dear child.
And so Anne laid eyes on Diana Barry for the very first time. And Diana was exactly as Anne had pictured her.
Hello,
May I introduce my daughter?
Diana. Diana.
Diana,
Yes?
why don't you take Anne out into the garden? Take her out and show her your own flower bed. That's more fun than staying indoors and reading.
Yes.
Diana's such a bookworm. She reads far too much. She has to be driven out into the fresh air. She always has her nose buried in a book. Oh, but come, Marilla, let's sit down. I would be so happy if your little Anne turned out to be a playmate for her. That might be one way of bringing Diana out of her dream world. I have no objection to reading, and I encourage her, but not from morning to night when the sun is shining outside.
Diana, well, I was wondering if you liked me a little bit, Diana. Well, actually, I was wondering if you liked me enough to be my best friend.
Yes, I think so, Anne. You know, I was ever so happy when I heard that you'd arrived at Green Gables. I've been longing for someone to play with for ages.
Is that really true?
Yes, for miles around there wasn't one other girl of my own age I could be friends with. I haven't got a sister I can talk to.
Diana, we ought to swear everlasting friendship for now and always in life and death.
In death?
That's the best oath of loyalty I've ever heard of. It's really binding, you know.
All right, what do we do? Show me how to swear.
Well, first you have to hold hands, and then stand there. To take the vow correctly, you're supposed to do it over running water. So you'll have to imagine that this path is a stream. And then you have to close your eyes. I swear by everything that I hold dear that I will have only one best friend, Diana Barry, in life and in death. friendship will last forever.
May flowing waters now, sweet witness bear, this oath we swear, today, forever and always. Let us be true best friends our livelong days. And by all that we hold dear this day declare, to love and care. My prayers being answered, I'm no longer alone.
And now it's your turn to swear. My name is Anne Shirley. I swear by everything I hold dear that I will have only one best friend, Anne Shirley, in life and in death. This friendship will last forever. You are completely mad, Anne. The people down in the village say that you're a little crazy. But all the same, I've started to like you an awful lot already. Come. Oh, the Lake of Shining Waters. The Lake of the Shining Waters? Oh, yes. I christened it on the day that Matthew fetched me from the station. That was the time I left the orphanage. I'll tell you about it sometime. The Lake of Shining Waters. It sounds so beautiful. Diana, you know, I think you really understand me. Yes. Anne, come here. Gorgeous. Incredible. To think all these books belong to you. Mm-hmm. I always get books as presents on my birthday and Christmas. That's the biography of a woman who had 5 men in love with her. 5 together? One would be enough for me, I reckon. But the story must be quite exciting. Why don't you take it home to read? But are you allowed to lend books? Mm-hmm. We've just sworn everlasting friendship, Anne, don't you remember? Yes, we did, Diana. And this one? Look, Alice in Wonderland. This book is interesting and it's really out of the ordinary. You must read it. I love looking at the pictures. If you like, you can borrow that one as well. Take a seat. And take your hat off, too. Goodness, I'm always forgetting. It's lovely to see all these books. We've got none at Green Gables because Marilla never has time for reading. Mm-hmm. Every time I read an interesting story, I always imagine that I'm the main character in the book. But books and dreams aren't half as nice as having a best friend you can talk to. That's what I learned today. When I first heard that I was going to live at Green Gables, I thought I might meet my best friend. Of course, I asked Marilla about the people who lived nearby. And when she told me about you, I decided you would become my best friend. But then I began to feel nervous. I was afraid that you wouldn't like me at all when we finally did meet. If only I'd known what you're really like, I needn't have worried at all, neither.
It happened almost the same way with me. I first heard about you one day when I was at my aunt's house. And from then on, I was just dying to meet you.
Really?
You're very brave. I really admire you. Because you tackled Mrs. Lindy head on.
Do you mean to say you know all about that? It could make life difficult for me. Does your mother know about it?
Don't worry about that. I assure you, that kind of talk doesn't bother my mother at all.
Oh, what a relief.
Wonders never cease, Mr. Matthew Cuthbert in person. So what can I do for you, Mr. Cuthbert?
Well, you see, the thing is, I'll have to come back. I've forgotten what I came for.
Anne, we must go home now. Come on, hurry up and come downstairs. May I borrow this dress pattern for a few days?
But of course, Marilla.
Do we have to go so soon, Marilla?
Indeed we do. We came here to introduce you to the Barrys, not to move in with them. We've already outstayed our welcome, I'm afraid.
Mother, can't you stay?
The two of them are inseparable already.
You can visit us whenever you want.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Barry.
Mother, may I walk with them on their way back?
Yes, that will be fine. But only halfway there, mind. Congratulations. She's very intelligent and well-mannered.
Thank you for the kind words. Goodbye.
Anne and Diana walked through the woods hand in hand. They whispered and giggled and told each other all their biggest secrets. On this day, each of the little girls had her dearest wish granted. Just as Anne had longed for a special companion, Diana had been dreaming of a best friend.
Goodbye, I'll see you soon.
And shall I see you tomorrow afternoon?
Yes, if I'm allowed to come.
Goodbye, Anne. Goodbye, Marilla.
Goodbye, Diana. So, did Diana live up to your expectations?
She's wonderful. Marilla, I'd like to tell you a big secret. I think I must be the luckiest girl that ever lived here on Prince Edward Island. And I promise that I'll say all my prayers properly tonight. Diana and I, we're planning to build a home for ourselves tomorrow afternoon. A house just for us, Marilla. You know, Diana has a birthday in February, and mine is only a month later. Now, isn't that just an incredible coincidence? Oh, and Diana's promised me that she'll take me and show me where to find lilies in the woods. Now, don't you think that Diana has ever such far-seeing eyes, Marilla? If only I had far-seeing eyes too, just like Diana has. Diana's promised to teach me to sing Nellie in the Hazelnut Bush with all the right words. Oh, and by the way, she's promised to give me a present, a picture I can hang up in my room. She says that it's really a beautiful picture, which is why she's giving it to me. It's a picture of a beautiful lady in a brown dress. Diana told me she got it from a sewing machine salesman who came to see her mother. Marilla, I suppose that I'm about an inch taller than Diana, but she's a little broader than I am. She actually told me that she'd love to be as slim as I am, because it looks more stylish, but I think she was only saying that to be nice. Wasn't that considerate of her? She's ever so thoughtful, you know. One day soon, Diana and I are planning to go to the seashore and gather lots and lots of shells. Diana has lined her flower bed with seashells. You've no idea how pretty it looks, Marilla. Oh, it's so nice at her place.
Anne. Now, you listen to me, dear child. If you carry on talking so fast and at such length about Diana, you can forget about having her for a friend, so don't go on about her so much. Your non-stop monologue about Diana is wearing me out. I've been listening for several hours now, and if I hear one more word, I think I shall faint.
Good, I'll remember that, Marilla.
Anne, will you sit still?
Welcome home, Matthew. You'll never guess, Matthew. I can hardly believe it myself. Diana and I have actually become best friends.
Well, I must say I'm very pleased about that, Anne, but it's no more than I expected.
We even managed to swear an oath of everlasting friendship. What do you think of that, Matthew?
Uh-oh. When I was in Carmody, I just happened to pass Mr. Clare's general dealer shop. Didn't you once mention you were especially fond of these things?
Is that a bag of chocolate bonbons?
Well, you've guessed it. I hope they taste good.
Thanks a lot, Matthew.
Huh. You know that chocolates are very unhealthy for children. It would have been much better to bring her something more sensible, Matthew. Like herbal sweets, they're much healthier. No, you don't have to look at me as if I was some kind of monster. If Matthew's given you a present of sweets, then of course you may keep them. But please, just don't finish them all in one go. You'll only make yourself sick.
Oh no, I'll ration them out very carefully. Today I shall eat only one. And would you mind it if I gave half of them to Diana as a present?
Of course not.
Well, in that case, my share of the sweets is bound to taste twice as good. And now I have something I can offer to Diana as a gift. Oh, thank you so much, Matthew.
Well, that's one good thing, Matthew. Whatever she may be, the child is not greedy, not in the slightest. All children have their faults, and to me the worst one is greediness. Do you know what surprises me? The child has only been with us at Green Gables for a few weeks, but it feels as if she's always been here since she was a baby. Already I can't imagine what life would be like without her. Dear brother, be so good as to spare me that "I told you so" expression you're wearing. It looks bad enough on a woman, but on a man it's absolutely unbearable, so won't you stop it, please?
Much later, when Anne looked back on this day, she realized how lucky she'd been. The chocolates, wrapped in brightly colored paper, were the proof that she was no longer dreaming. This was the real thing. Of course, Anne and Diana were to meet again on the very next day. Together, they would run through the meadows, enjoying the beautiful countryside. Anne and Diana would also explore places that they'd never seen before. But that story will be told in the next episode.
Soft whispers on the breeze, the wood nymphs in the trees are calling out your name. They offer you their gift, sweet fragrance fills the air. The magic of a moon